Hey, good morning, everyone. We're here for the regular council meeting of April 1st to April Fools. We will get right into it. We have introductions. Councillor Shane Pelche is online.
Good morning.
Councillor Janine Boulanger is online.
Good morning.
Councillor Jason Bondarchuk is online.
Good morning.
Councillor Joel Lemoine is in person.
Good morning.
And our CEO Mitch Duval is in person.
Bon matin.
Our assistant CEO Dominic Lemoine is in the back in person.
Good morning.
And our recreation director, couldn't remember your title, Shane Ray, is also in person. Perfect. We will get started. And myself, Chris Ewan. So without further ado, item number 1, meeting called to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Boulanger. Questions before we open the meeting? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. I'll open the meeting at 9:01 a.m. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk. Second. Councillor Pelche. Thank you. Are we good with the agenda as is, council? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Item 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor 1, second. Councillor Pelche. Go ahead, Mr. Steven.
Last regular council meeting was March 19th, whereby council entertained the delegation from R Community Futures, 1 conditional use, 2 zoning bylaws, subdivision that was tabled, MTS Bell Communication Tower, auditors for the 2025 period, as well as a new CAO starting April 30th.
Thank you. Questions from council? Anything? No. Good as is. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Thank you. Item 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Lemoine.
2 reports submitted from Councillor Bondarchuk regarding the Reach Out Senior Services and the Reach Out Library.
You, council, any questions? Don't call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. And we'll go into 5.1, Director of Recreation.
Thank you very much. Can you call it up? Because I can't. So I'll fly through things here fairly quickly. We'll go to the first page, just a park and facility update. St. Agatha Arena had the ice plant run for the first winter. Things have gone very well to date. So it turned out to be a good move. There are a number of issues with the St. Agatha Arena. We're in the process of looking to replace both electrical panels. The doors need work. Most of the flooring on the main floor needs to be replaced, and a number of washrooms need to be updated as well. In addition, for the very last weekend, there was a case of some vandalism. One of the teams broke off a shower head and flooded most of the main floor. So we're following up on that as well. In terms of the St. Agatha Community Center, not a lot going on other than we're looking to be painting the whole building over the course of the next month or so, pending some funding. In Howden, a number of projects coming up, looking at finishing off the ceiling and purchasing new furnaces for that building as well. St. Adolphe Community Center recently replaced the HRV on top of the hall, but there are a number of things that need to be done. A number of doors that need to be replaced, locks that need to be replaced, a door needs to be repaired, or a new safety ladders and north glass score clock. Kind of the list is a little bit endless at the St. Adolphe Community Center and the arena there. So we're just working with them to prioritize some projects and figure out what to take on first. With the curling club, just some interior painting that needs to be done. They did have an issue with their plant to start out the year. Their plant went down, but thankfully insurance covered that. So that saved everybody a little bit of money. Grand Point Park, we'll continue to work on this slide and some of the other issues within the park. We're looking at change the way Skidoos access the warming hut in behind as well to avoid traffic along the trail. And then we'll be doing some work on the stage, hopefully this spring and summer as well. In the Shane Arena, the ODR had its first sort of winter. We created a bit of a walkway, added some basketball hoops for the outdoor, and so we're looking forward to what we can do this summer as well. There are a number of things that need to be done in the Shane Arena as well in terms of the score clock, the dressing rooms and washrooms in the basement, and the Zamboni is starting to reach the end of life. So depending, there can be anywhere from a $50,000 to $200,000 touch, depending on what we look at doing in terms of replacement. The TC Center, we're looking at doing rekeying, and there's applied for funding for the canopy project to finish off that building as well. So pending that, that may be a project that we take on over the course of the summer and fall as well. We are doing some work in a number of our parks. We'll be continuing work on both Perron and Bartman to try and finish out those plans. The River Park in St. Adolphe, we're looking at adding 9 more tee-off boxes so that we have an 18-hole disc golf course. It would actually allow them to be able to host tournaments there as well. We're looking at putting some ground level elements in both Lemoyne and Dotier Park this summer as well to expand our offerings there. And also with Dotier Park, we're looking at doing putting in some permanent lawn games, so some permanent disc golf potentially, but also cornhole and potentially ladder golf as well. We're also investigating the cost of some ping pong, some concrete ping pong tables to put there. So, and we hope to wrap things up with the Red River Cart by June 21st. The structure is built, the cart is here. We're just working on some brackets to get it done and working on some lights as well. We're also working with the local MMF to do some signage to put around it. So that's it for that. Moving on in terms of programming, in the last 4 months, we've run about 20 different programs. We had about 251 participants. In total, Emma tried about 40 different programs. It's been a little bit of a hit and miss as we try a number of different new programs to see what works. In terms of our programming, we really try and bounce back and forth between East and West in terms of the RM. So we try and run a program once in either sort of Howden, St. Adolphe, St. Gath, and then Grand Point or Ile-des-Chênes. Depending on kind of the feedback that we get, we also look at adjusting it or running it twice. In terms of summer camps, we're currently 64% sold for the camps. We will be looking at making some adjustments after this summer. We're finding that we're generally sold out in Ile-des-Chênes and Grand Point, but in the other communities we're not necessarily. It leaves us a little bit overstaffed in some of those other communities. So we're trying this year. We're working with Community Futures to run a biz camp from July 28th to August 1st in Ile-des-Chênes. And so we're looking forward to trying that. It's aimed at ages 9 to 13. And we'll be also looking for doing some tours of local businesses and having some local business people come in and talk to the kids as well. So we're excited about that addition. We're running some spring break programs for the first time. We're doing some drop-in, one in each community this week. Yesterday in St. Adolphe, we had about 35 people out come out for the 2 hours as a drop-in. So overall, the feedback was very positive for that. One of the programs that we're looking forward to in the fall is we're going to be running a Couch to 5K program. So teaching people how to run a 5K or a walk. And then we're going to look at doing a community 5K walk, jog, run, push, stroll, whatever you want to do. And our goal long term would be to move that around. Again, we would actually try and do, especially the 5K community walk, we would do it a different one in each community every year. So this year would be St. Adolphe, next year might be Ile-des-Chênes, St. Gath, Grand Point, trying to move it around as well. So in terms of the community engagement, we're partnering with the Winnipeg Bombers, the arm of Hanover, and the town of to run the Flag Football League this spring, summer. So far, our registration has been going very well. We should have enough to run in 3 age groups, U10, U12, and U14. We're currently looking for both officials and coaches. So the idea is that it would run generally one night a week. 1 week it'll be in Richshot, the next week it'll be in Niverville, and the following week it'll be somewhere in Hanover. I'm not sure exactly where it is in Hanover, but in Richshot we're planning on running it in Ile-des-Chênes, so it's closest to both Hanover and Niverville, and we'll be looking at doing that behind the TC Energy Center. We are, as I think I mentioned, looking for some officials and coaches as well. So in terms of Homegrown Harmonies, we've identified the dates and locations, and those have been shared in the full report that we provided. We're also adding Howden to the mix this year. So we're going to be starting in May and wrapping up in September 12th in St. Adolphe here at the Civic Site. We've also done movies. We're going to be doing one indoor movie this week in Ile-des-Shane, and then we'll be doing 2 movies this summer, one in Grand Point and one in St. Adolphe. We have cut back the number of outdoor movies just simply based on our struggles with weather last year. Only 1 out of 4 actually ended up being outside. So we thought we would try and adjust and potentially add some more indoor ones in the spring, and then only a couple in the summer. So the lending program has been going very well. Ski, snowshoes, and the kick sleds were all well used, and we've already started lending out our lawn games for this upcoming summer. A couple of the events that also went on over the course of the last couple of months, we had the puzzle race in St. Adolphe. I'm pleased to say that the recreation team came in dead last. And I think it was because I wasn't there, but I can't say for sure. But we had a great turnout. We had 20 teams. Thank you to Councillor Bodnashuk for coming and getting people ready to go and sending it off. One group did it in 28 minutes. Apparently, there's actually people that do this on a regular basis. So we're looking at potentially adding another one sometime in the fall. It was also a good partnership with the St. Adolphe Community Center, so that worked well. We ran our Sip and Ski, which was an adult-themed event in Grand Point. The weather didn't quite cooperate with us. It was a little too warm and took away a lot of our snow, but we still had about 45 people sign up. I think 42, 43 people actually showed up. And overall, it was a good response. We got really positive feedback from the people that were in attendance. Thank you to Perk Coffee for coming out and supporting the event as well. And the very next day, we ran a family day event, also at Grand Point. We had the dog sleds out and received a lot of positive feedback, had about 60, 70 people out for that event as well. One thing to look forward to is we're actually looking at running a Father's Day disc golf tournament. Probably not the weekend of Father's Day, but close to it. And then June will also be Parks and Rec month. So moving on to a couple of projects that we're also taking on this summer. One is called Signs of Belonging. It's actually modeled off of a program that was done in Ramsey County, Minnesota. You can see a couple of examples of the signage, but basically it's to create a public artwork to be installed in each of the community parks. So it's not a major piece of artwork. Most of them will be about 18 inches high by about 3 feet long. And the design is intended to create a sense of belonging connection through parks. We're going to tie it into our June's Parks and Rec month as well. We'll also be holding little events with each of these to get people to say why they love parks. So that's one of the ones we got funding through Healthy Together Now to support that program. So we're looking forward to this. We're looking at launching our community lending libraries and expanding what we do. We currently do the seed libraries, and there are a number of the little book libraries. We're looking at creating structures you can see in the screen. Thanks to Councillor Boulanger for drawing that up for us and doing the plans. We'll be adding in some lockers, and within that we'll be placing sports equipment, arts and craft supplies as well. And then we'll be moving our seed libraries and book lending libraries inside of that. So we're looking at doing a couple in the parks this year to see how it goes. Again, those lockers will be loaded with a variety of equipment that people can come, take out, borrow, use within the parks themselves, and then put it back or take home if they really want, provided that depending on what it is, they bring it back as well. We're looking at also working with Ryan to potentially add some solar panels, and we would do power for phones and things like that available in the lockers. In the event that doesn't work out, which we anticipate it will, the idea is that we could turn the structures into small shelters to use in the parks by adding a bench as well. So looking long term with that. We do have our volunteer strategy. We're looking for a motion for council to officially adopt the volunteer strategy. It's been brought forward for feedback both at this level, but also we've sent it out to a variety of community groups and sought their feedback before we implemented it as well. So now that we've received all the feedback, there is money in the budget this year to start this. We're looking at implementing it over the course of the next couple of years, but this year we'll start with some of the recognition and stuff like that. If you actually read the strategy as well, you'll notice if you actually replace the word volunteer with business, there's an opportunity to do some sort of business strategy around it in terms of business recognition, business support, things like that. yeah, so we're looking for a motion around adopting that official. And as near as I can tell, it'll be the first volunteer strategy in Manitoba on behalf of an RM. Well, some cities and things like that have their own volunteer programs where people volunteer for them. Ours is really about supporting the volunteers in our community, no matter what group they support as well. So we're excited by that. We'll be doing a capacity building project. We're going to hire a company to come in and determine the value of our various facilities, recreation facilities, parks, things like that. And then look to potentially partner with somebody to do sponsorship of those. Again, trying to raise funds for our community groups and for the facilities as well. We'll be bringing forward for approval very shortly the life cycle grants, grants for councils. This past winter, so both of those will be coming. We're just finalizing things with RAC on those. This past winter, we, and I want to just send a big thank you to Dan Sullivan. He's a local resident who was managing the Morris Arena for the last number of years. He took time out of his winter, this past winter, to help us train new ice staff in both St. Agatha and St. Adolphe. And truthfully, probably couldn't have done either without his assistance. So we're lucky to have him as an asset, and hopefully when he comes back from Arizona, I can buy him a lunch and say thank you again. So we'll also be looking to update our asset management program and really be able to help us determine what kind of a deficit we have when we look at our facilities. If you jump back to the earlier slide, you would note that there was a number of different projects that I brought up. And so helping us determine the best projects and the way to go forward will be done through that asset management. Talked about June is Parks and Rec month already, so we're looking forward to that. And just an update in terms of the Director of Recreation replacement. The project, it is closed. We received 65 applications in total, shortlisted, and hope to start setting interviews up for sometime next week. And that's it. Questions?
Council questions?
Just in regard to our facilities, I know our EDO is looking at a program for energy efficiency on them. I think this will be a pretty good time for looking at everything, including asset management on that. For our next presentation, if we could spell Dote properly, that'd be awesome.
Sorry.
Looking forward to the biz camp. My daughter partook it when she was of age for that, and had a great time. Couch to 5K. I did a 5K last year. It was the longest 4 hours of my life. Looking forward to it. And other than that, great work on everything presented this morning. It's awesome.
Yep. I have just a comment about the Zamboni. I have a contact if you need, unless you've already got it all figured out. The Zamboni we got for Grand Point Park was a used one, but it's all refurbished and in good condition, and it's about like a quarter the price of a new one. So just putting that out there.
Perfect. Thank you. Do you need that motion right now?
If the rec director is done with his report, we could move on to the resolution.
Is that on here? And I missed it.
It is 5.1.
Oh, I see it. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Seal.
I need a mover second.
Oh, mover for the motion. Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Bonnerchuk. Go ahead, Mr. Seal.
Basically, I'll flip it back to the rec director who drafted the resolution and explained it into details. But I think it's volunteer strategy.
So yeah, it is the volunteer strategy, which we presented both to our rec advisory committee, to council before. And as I said, we presented it to our community groups. It is to adopt the volunteer strategy and show the support. Obviously, we all understand how important volunteers are to our community, not just in building community, but ensuring things that go forward. There's a number of different aspects in terms of recognition, support through education, training, and helping them develop those resources as well, so that those groups and those individuals can be successful. And again, the goal is not just supporting the community groups that we support, such as the arenas and the halls and things like that, but really any kind of volunteer group in the community or in the RM. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Perfect. Council discussion?
That's awesome. That's it.
Perfect. Can I call for the question? All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Thank you. 6.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier.
One batch for quick pay of $600, nothing to report there.
Thank you. Comments from council? None. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Thank you. 6.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine.
In the batch of 284, the big ticket items are renewals of automobile and truck insurance, 18,000. We're finally also done with our furniture, 33,000. The remainder balance of a truck being paid off at Lettingham's for 50,000. The pension fund at 33 and the receiver general at 41,000.
Thank you. Council questions? I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. And 6.3, council indemnities. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belmonte, second. Councillor Pelletier.
This is in regards to council indemnities for the month of March, ranging from 12 hours to 39 hours. One individual attended a conference, so therefore that's why the hours are up for that individual. Otherwise, nothing to report.
Thank you. Council discussion? No. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. 6.4, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier.
In regards to payroll 6, I believe spring is in the air, so there's been a lot of thawing and freezing and thawing and freezing. So there's some overtime there for public works as well as administration with recreation, getting programming off and running. So that accounts for all the hours that you may have seen on Richard.
Thank you. Council discussion? None. I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. 9.1, bylaw 4/2025, MBEA, first reading. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Pelletier.
This is first reading for bylaw 4/2025, MBEA. Basically, it's house cleaning more than anything else. If you look at the bylaw schedules A and B, what we're doing is we're adding and deleting some of the other bylaws to the list that we wish to have the MBEA applied to. Schedule B is basically updating the penalties and bylaw number changes, et cetera, et cetera. Not changing the fines themselves, the fees themselves, but just a cleanup of house numbers, I guess, for lack of better words.
Thank you. Council discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. 9.2, bylaw 6/2025, amend ZBL to add outdoor amusement establishment to AL zone as a conditional use. First reading. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine.
This is to add outdoor amusement establishment to the AL zone as a conditional use. So it gives the agricultural limited zone a little bit more flexibility as to what can be provided or offered for that zoning area. This, of course, is a rezone, so it's the first reading. Public hearing will be scheduled accordingly, and you can get public feedback on the matter before moving to second and third reading if you choose to add the outdoor amusement. And there is already a definition in the current zoning bylaw for outdoor amusement establishment. So take a look at that as you move forward in your future deliberations.
Thank you. Council discussion?
So is it still ag limited zone? Is it a rezone or just an added class?
It's an added class to the zone, but it is deemed as a rezone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Potato.
Perfect. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. 10.1.1. Emergency coordinator contract. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemon.
We currently love our EMO coordinator that we figured instead of trying to deal with them on a yearly basis, we'd offer him a long-term contract, 3 years, 2% or COLA, I believe is written in the agreement. So he's very happy with that.
Perfect. Thank you. Council comments, questions? No.
No.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. Thank you. 10.1.2. MB Transportation and Infrastructure PR 200 Rehabilitation. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bonnerchuk, second. Councillor Lemon.
As most people know, or everybody knows by now, PR 200 Main Street through St. Adolphe will get rehabbed. So that's great for the community. Manitoba Highways is looking for a resolution of support. First I've seen of this, but if that's what they want in order to get a new Main Street in town, please vote favorably in this motion.
Okay. Questions from questions from council? No. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. 10.1.3 3M action plan. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Belanger.
Ceci est pour mettre à jour notre plan d'action pour l'AMBM et que la municipalité est préparée à faire afin d'améliorer leur service bilingue. So this resolution is in support of upgrading our 3M plan towards the vision of where the municipality wants to be regarding the bilingualism efforts being done by the IMBM. So the assistant CEO and myself sat down, looked at a whole bunch of criterias and developed a plan, and we wish to move forward on that plan.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup. Des questions? Questions?
Well, great announcement with the minister Simard last week. So it's a great initiative.
Proposeur? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier.
We already had a
Oh,
second.
sorry.
The vote,
It's a French. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. What's carried in French?
Adaptif.
Okay. And 13, adjournment. Have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Belanger. Final thoughts? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That is carried. I'll close the meeting at 9:28 a.m. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Stop recording.